I had a doctor's appointment last week, and they were just trying to make run-of-the-mill conversation, and they asked me what I do for work and what I've been up to. You'd think I'd get better or more comfortable with this question, but it never gets easier, only weirder. I told my doctor I'm a professional astrologer, and they took it pretty well. They were like, "Oh, that's cool." And then they asked about it a bit. Then they said, "Well, if you see anything weird going on with my aura, you'll have to let me know." Now it is Sagittarius season, and while Mercury isn't quite back into Sagittarius just yet, my natal Mercury is Sagittarius, so I couldn't let this one go. I proceeded to tell my doctor that I'm not a new age woo astrologer, that I'm a full-blown occultist, and I study ancient arts and practices. She took it surprisingly well. We ended my appointment on the topics of Stoicism and TM meditation. She did mention, on a side note, that my health is solid, so that was nice to hear as Saturn continues to burn down my 6th house. Sagittarius season is the season of oversharing and letting people know how weird you really are. If I can tell my doctor that I'm an occultist, you can be truthful with them about your health history. It is their job after all. And my job is to give you the rundown of the astro weather for the week, so let's get into this week's forecast. I'm not a big physics person, but I am pretty sure time has been moving in some kind of weird way. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was talking about Neptune's retrograde and how the shift into Pisces was going to impact us, but now I'm here to tell you that Neptune is stationing direct and that it's going to slowly start inching its way back to Aries again. Neptune's retrograde has been casting illusions, excuses, and escapism tendencies within the realm of Pisces since July. Just like Saturn stationing direct recently is closing out its cycle in Pisces, Neptune stationing direct this week is doing the same thing. Come January, it'll leave Pisces and it'll be seated in Aries for good. Saturn will join it about a month later. So all this Saturn and Neptune energy that we've had in Pisces, it's going to switch to Aries in a few short months. What this means for us now, though, is that we're on the last leg of dealing with Neptune's haze around the realm of Pisces. We're at the point where excuses and playing the victim shouldn't really work anymore in this area of our lives. Saturn stationing direct has really hit this lesson home, and it's tried to convey how important it is that we take ownership and responsibility of what's going on within the area that Pisces rules for us, hence my doctor's appointment. Neptune has been in Pisces since like 2011, so it's finally leaving. It's finally going to be clearing the fog around the realm of Pisces and our capabilities within this area. And again, Saturn has been really putting us through the ringer and sort of forcing us to see past that fog. It's been forcing us to grow up within the realm of Pisces, whether you're in your Saturn return or not, but especially if you are in your Saturn return. Come February, when they both leave Pisces, this area of our lives should be in pristine condition and ready to start a brand new journey. If it's not in pristine condition, well, then it got all burned down to the ground and you get to start over anyway. So either way, we're starting over. There's going to be a brand new journey with new knowledge and new wisdom to implement. The realm of Aries, however, well, that's another worry for another day. Another important planetary movement this week is Mercury ingressing back into Sagittarius. It was there, it stationed retrograde, and then it wasn't there, and now it's coming back again. Mercury ingressing into Sagittarius means that it'll be in its place of detrimental dignity, but also that 4 traditional planets, and they're all personal planets, will be in the sign of mutable fire, Sagittarius. Our mental world, Mercury, joining the rest of the personal planets in Sagittarius means that we're going to be moving fast, furious, and we'll have no time for negativity, naysayers, or feeling like we're slowed down. I highly recommend looking at the house that Sagittarius rules for you in order to understand what mutable fire is trying to achieve. Shortly after Mercury ingresses into Sagittarius, it's met with a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. Fixed air is going to be acting like fuel for Mercury, just like it has for all the planets that have recently ingressed into the early degrees of Sagittarius. When it comes to Mercury in particular, though, there's going to be an increased desire for communication, for learning, and empowerment through thoughts and ideas towards the end of the week. Pluto is energizing the mental realm through that nice sextile with Mercury, but we do have to keep Mercury's detrimental dignity in mind. We might be prone to running our mouths or just taking on more than we can handle if we decide to get carried away and swept up into mutable fires, ambitions, and dreams. As someone who has had to continually wrangle Sagittarius energy their entire lives, I will say that all this energy in Sagittarius is definitely prone to pushing people towards extremes and excess, especially if you aren't used to this energy. This is a time when it might feel like you can do anything and that there's no limit. But trust me, there's a limit. Don't get me wrong. Enjoy all this inspirational fire energy that we have going on, but really try to understand what it is that you're aiming at and what you're really wanting out of the realm of Sagittarius. Otherwise, the fire gets out of control and it's prone to burning things down in the process. Sagittarius energy, when it gets out of control, always reminds me from Dennis from It's Always Sunny, where he's like, I am a golden god. That is pretty much Sagittarius whenever they decide to get on one about something and then they just go. Because yeah, Sagittarius is Jupiter's baby. It's like it can do whatever it wants. It can do no wrong and it just flits through life. But that doesn't mean it's the right way to go about something or the best way to go about something. For example, Sagittarius is my third house, the house of communication, teaching, routines, habits, all that good stuff. Things published on a regular basis live here, so this is a big time for me, not only because all the planetary returns I'm going through with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, all three of those are in Sagittarius for me, and I'm in my returns for those. It's also a big deal because I'm a podcaster and a writer. I publish content routinely. When I tell you that I am currently hell-bent on changing the name of this podcast for no reason, it is ridiculous. I literally wake up in the morning with ideas and inspiration on how to change things for no reason other than I want to or it feels cool. My meditations have been constantly interrupted by intrusive thoughts about how I can change everything and do whatever I want and be spontaneous. And you're going to have these urges too, especially towards the end of the week when Mercury is being fed inspiration from Pluto. Take it from someone who deals with this energy quite regularly. My advice is to write down all the ideas, let yourself explore them, but don't feel the need to act on every single impulse. Like, let's say Sagittarius is your 9th house. You likely can't just drop everything and go on this epic journey through Europe to find yourself, or you can't drop out of college to go start an ant farm because all of a sudden you have a fleeting passion for ants. Mars leaves Sagittarius next week, and I promise that Mars in Capricorn will not find the fleeting whims of Mars in Sagittarius nearly as amusing as we do right now. So, I won't end up changing everything if you don't change everything. Let's hold each other accountable here while we traverse through this Sagittarian storm. And this isn't to say that you won't actually have a really brilliant idea or that something cool won't come to fruition. It's just that all the details and the how and the why and the what and the who and the where, they don't really apply to Sagittarian logic. So if you're someone that needs those details in order to feel comfortable or to make something happen, know that you're probably not going to get them. Because Sagittarius runs off blind faith and the notion that it'll just work out. So unless you have utter blind faith in your ant farm, stay the course a little while longer. Mars in Sagittarius is going to be squaring Saturn early in the week, which will bring up a lot of the energy I just talked about. There's something that we're going to want to go all in on or have little backing as to why we want to do it. And Saturn is going to tell us no, just flat out no, or make it really hard to accomplish. And this is why I said hold on to your inspiration, but maybe don't put it into action just yet, especially if it feels like you're forcing the flow. Saturn wants us to take our inspiration seriously, and not see it as just a fleeting feeling. If we truly want to start an ant farm or change the name of a podcast, then we'll want to do it in a few weeks or even a month from now. Sit on your inspiration, let it marinate a bit before taking action, and I promise Saturn will appreciate it. Have a great week. Allow yourself to think big, grandiose thoughts within the realm of Sagittarius, but also know that it is advised that we remain grounded and rework the inspiration until it's truly ready to be set out into the world. Sagittarius doesn't like to be told no, but if it's for a good reason, then exceptions can be made. Make the exception this week while that Mars square Saturn aspect is in play, and hold off on burning something to the ground or setting something free before it's ready. It'll be worth the wait. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.